Hi, this is Julian from Chronosys, and today I'm just going to do an updated video on how to connect your Odin to your online cloud storage. There's a new bit of software that's become available which simplifies the process considerably and makes things a lot easier for you to do this. So I've downloaded the setup instructions from the Chronosys website. And here you've got the pages, the first couple of pages. I'm not going to go through any of this, and we've got the prerequisites before we start, so I'm assuming you've read this much. Now again, you're going to need a Google Drive or a DropBox. There are lots of other cloud services that you could use. I'm just recommending these two because these are the ones I've tested. You can also upload to an FTP server if you have one. It's actually quite versatile, the software. But again, it's up to you whether you want to explore and test things out. You can do what you like, but I'm just going to run through Google Drive or Dropbox. Okay, so on the prerequisites page, if you scroll down to the bottom, down here, you actually have two different ways, the easy way and the hard way to set up your software. This is going to be showing you how to do the easy way, which is using this new software. So click this, take you to this page, and then all you need to do is download this software. So click this. Once you've clicked that, it will take you to the page where the software is. Just scroll down to the bottom and you will see a little bit of information about the software. You don't need to read any of this or anything, but what we are interested in is the tap to see downloads. Okay, so now you have the downloads page, and then if you go back to the instructions, you will see there's a little bit of information on the different OSs and processors that some of the machines use. You're most likely going to be on a PC machine, you're going to be on the x64, and on the Apple, you're probably going to be on the Apple Silicon. So these are the two ones you're going to be using, but there is a way to find out if you're not quite sure. So I'm actually running off an x64 PC, so like just a normal Windows 11. So I would click that and that will download to your download folder. Okay, so I've downloaded the software and here it is in my downloads folder. Then I just click to install. Obviously, you're just going to follow the instructions to install the program. Hit next. You can leave these all checked and then we're going to finish and run the program. And you now have this icon appear on your desktop, or should do. You can see it's initializing and starting up on this splash screen here. So that's it. Your rclone has been initialized and you can find it in your tray menu. Now your tray menu is actually down here. As you can see, this little icon is rclone, which is running in your tray. Now let's click start. I want you now to right click on the little icon and go to the settings, which will bring up this screen. Now we don't need any of this. The only two options we're going to be using are remotes and config. So let's click remote and let's create our first remote, shall we? You're creating a remote token that Dropbox or Google Drive will use to talk to Odin. So let's click this button here, create remote. Now, you're given a couple of fields, and the first field you need to enter the word my remote, which there it is there. You can't call it anything else because if you do, it will not work. So it needs to be a lowercase my remote. Okay, then moving on to type. Now, if I click this brings up all the different drives and web services that you can select. I, again, only recommend using Dropbox or Google Drive. For this one, we will do Google Drive as the example because Google Drive just has a few more fields to enter in. Dropbox is slightly simpler to do. So moving on to the next field, we actually have the client ID and the client secret. Now this is where Dropbox and Google Drive vary slightly. With Dropbox, we just use the collective one, so we can leave these completely blank. Whereas Google one, we're using Chronosys' own client ID. This just speeds up image uploads to the servers a little bit quicker than just using a collective one. So in order to get your Google Drive client ID, you just need to go back to your setup document, and you can see this text in red. All you need to do is cut and paste like this into your software. Now just select that, and then I normally use Control and V to paste that into the field. Then I go back to this one and then copy this. So now you have your client ID and your client secret entered into the fields. There's one last thing you need to do for Google Drive, and that is you need to add the scope of the project. And with this, you just click it and you'll get several options. Now you need to select this one, which is drive.file. And all this is doing is allowing access to any files Odin creates on your drive. It just makes it a little bit more secure. So once you've completed all those fields, your whole setup for Google Drive should look something like this. Last thing you need to do is click Create Remote. So you click that. Yeah. Now it will take you to a page where Google asks if it's okay for Odin Timelapse to actually connect to your account. You can see I've got two accounts here. I'm going to go with this account, so I just select this one. And then it just says it wants to, again, as per the text here, it just asks, like, is it okay for Odin to connect to your Google Drive? I've already got some access here because I've got one of them set up. So I hit continue, then we've got a success here. That's it. You're now connected to Google. Once you've got that, all you need to do is just return back to the software, and you will now see you actually have one token that's been created, which is Google Drive here, and it's called My Remote. So now just click the config tag here, and of course that takes us to the default config here. Now, if you have a number of tokens that are listed further down, there is only one here, but if you did have a number of them, make sure you just delete these, because you only really want to be working on one file at a time. So the last thing we need to do now is just download the config file to our desktop. So click that and select desktop, and there you go, and that should appear on our desktop here, which it has. So at the moment it's labeled defaultconfig.com. So all we need to do now is change the default.conf name to rclone.conf. So all we do is just go to right click and rename, then just type in rclone.conf. So you should have a file there now called rclone.conf. So we're getting very close to the end now. That's all the complicated things over. So now all you need to do is copy the config token that you created across to your Odin, and that's very simple. All you do is take your SD card from the Odin and pop it in your computer, and then that should appear like so on your computer. Now you've got this rclone file here. All you do is drag and drop that onto the SD card, not inside the DCIM folder, but actually in the root directory as shown there. Then you pop the SD card back into the Odin and follow the instructions in the manual as it says here. So the last thing that remains for you to do is to check to see whether your Odin connected to the cloud storage correctly. You can do this by going to your cloud storage and seeing if it's created its folders, whether Odin has actually created its folders. So I'll quickly show you how to get to those. You can either go to this little these icons here and select Drive like that, or you can just type in Google Drive. So once you're into your Google Drive, you'll have a number of folders there, which you can see. There's one called Odin, which has been set up by the Odin camera. And then if you click inside that, you can see there are 2 cameras, and these are the name folders from the 2 cameras. So I've named these previously. I just have these running on this account. Then you can click into one of them, and that will bring up all your images that have been saved to this account. And you can see, if I go back, let's check this one, it's obviously at night 3:15, and you can see that that one's actually been the last image that was uploaded. So there you go. I think that's pretty good overview. I mean, I hope you've followed that. Sorry if I've waffled on a little bit. If you do need any further help, then you can always email me or phone me. You have my phone number there. I can actually sit with you and go through the process, but obviously we would have to find a time that's agreeable to both of us. Hopefully that won't be the case, but just remember you're not alone if you do need any help. So that's it. I think that's finishing up on the video. Good luck and happy time lapsing.